Starting
This
the live.
conference will now be recorded.
You can start.
Hello everyone. Today we are going to demonstrate about ServiceNow overview and implementation guide. Uh, Agenda for the meeting is to give you the understanding about the platform, the application demonstration, development guidelines, implementation overview, and reasons to migrate to ServiceNow. So let's get started with the platform overview. ServiceNow is a SaaS-based platform, meaning it's a cloud-based platform where you can develop the application on the cloud. And there are multiple application suites that are available within ServiceNow. For example, we have customer service management for handling external customer related issues. We have IT service management, which is used for service management infrastructure handling. We have ITPM for project management and agile stories and portfolio management. IT operation management is used for CMDB, discovery, and also event management. And there are also multiple applications besides these, which are very popular, such as security operation to handle security related operational issues, and HRSD, which is used to handle HR operation related activities. And then we have GRC, which is used for governance, risk, and compliance. To make sure that the application or infrastructure that we are using is compliant with different risk related audit requirements, for example ISO 27K, or it could be ISO 20000. So that's about the platform. It has different capabilities and suites that are available out of box, which we can implement by enabling the plugin, and it's aligned with the best practices. Now, related to application overview, what I'm going to demonstrate today is I'll give a little bit understanding about the ITSM application, give a little bit tour about CMDB and virtual agent in ServiceNow. So let me start sharing the developer website where we can have a quick demonstration of ServiceNow applications. All right, so this is a developer website that you can create. So all you have to do is go to the developer site and create a login for you, and then you can request an instance. Once an instance is requested by you, you can open the instance and you'll have an admin access to explore it. So first of all, I am going to navigate to the ITSM application. So inside ITSM, we have incident, wherein we can create an incident, and then it has different state model that we can follow. I can demonstrate how it looks like. So there is an incident form where you can fill in the information that is required, main information you can fill in, and then you can submit. After the incident is submitted, it goes through different workflows, and in a bit I can also show to you how there are different workflows and state models and business rules that can be configured. So the incident is created, and now the next step is to resolve the incident. When you're resolving the incident, there are different validations that has to be done. For an example, you have to provide the resolution code and resolution notes. So how are these business rules configured? It's very easy. So if you go to the incident and you click on the additional context, you can click on configure, and here you can, if you have to add or update the form related stuff, all you have to do is go to the form design, and everything in ServiceNow is drag and drop. So for an example, you will see all the fields that exist on the incident table. And if you want to add more fields in the form, all you have to do is to drag and drop. For an example, I want to add duration. I can just drag and drop, and then you have to save it. And the next thing for validation, if you have to create business rule, then it's pretty easy. All you have to do is, so assessment business rule. This is a business rule that is available out of box. What it does is, all you can as you can see, it's all condition based. There is a minimal requirement for scripting. So when to run, here you can provide the condition when it should be run. So it is async, meaning it should run not in parallel but in a sequential order. And it should run on the form load as well as form update. And then in the advanced, here you can write the script if you want something to happen on the on the basis of script. For example, here what it is doing is, on state changes, it is trying to update the assessment record. But if you just have a simple requirement, for example, let's look at the other business rules that are available, which are just condition based, and there is no requirement for the script. Maybe this one we can look upon. So this is about clearing the resolution fields. So when to run, here there is no condition. All right, fine. And actions, what actions you have to take is set field resolved by. So it's all empty, right? Meaning it is blanking out all the fields related to resolution. And when advanced, here you can define the condition. So whenever a new incident has reopened, you have to clear the resolution related fields. So this is how you can define different rules and logics inside the tables. And then you have client scripts. Client script is something that runs on the UI front. So we saw that the resolution information was mandatory. So for that, what you have to do is, you can create a client script. You can name it as test table. You can define. So in this case, we will run it on the incident table. And now let me save it first. And here you can define the messages and description that you want to run. And so it's quite easy to create the client scripts as well. And as I said, it runs on the client side, not on the server side. And that means that it anything that is anything that is to be manipulated on the UI front, you need to write the client script for that. So that's how you can configure it. And now let's go back to the incident table. So here open, you can see all open incident resolved. You can see all the incidents that are resolved. And similarly, you have administration, where you have different incident properties that are available, and it's all checkbox. So for example, you want to enable auto closure for incident based on resolution date. You can just check it as yes. You can provide the number of days after which it should auto close, and you can also define if it should close all the open incident tasks as well or not. Incident reopen properties. So here also it's all field based. You can provide the list of fields that should be copied from the original incident in case incident is reopened. So it's that simple. All there are multiple properties that are available out of box. You just have to enable and provide the choices. So no script related requirements as such. And then you have incident ATF suites, wherein you can run the automation testing for incident. Inside ITSM, you also have change management, problem management, and knowledge management. I can give one more example of change management. So the way change management works is, you have different types of changes that are available, and each type of change has its own state model. For an example, you see first state is new, and then it goes to the assessed state and authorized. So different states are defined for the change management process, and all these are available out of box. That means client will get most of the requirements out of box, and you just have to configure a little bit of the things. For an example, when you send it for approval, it's asking for assignment group, which is mandatory. How is it configured? Let's see that. So these are called as UI actions. So if you go to configure and then you go to UI actions, you can look for request approval based UI action condition. So request approval, this is the button that we were looking at, right? So it is asking for assignment group. Let's see how it is configured. So it runs on the change request table, and then who can run it? Here you can define the role and different conditions when it should be run. So here only ITIL user should be able to run it, and it if once the validation passes, it goes to the next state, which is authorize. And here you're defining that before moving to the unauthorized state, you have to how can you do that? So state g underscore form dot set value state -3 is for authorize. And
Excuse me, Sneha. Sneha, we can't see the demo screen. We only can see Hello Swati, just one screen, since you have started.
oh really, just give me one
Yeah.
second. Let me start sharing again. I hope now you can see that, right?
Yes, yes.
All right, so request approval, I was talking about this. So this UI action runs on the change request table. And what it does is it moves the change to the authorized state, and condition is it should be run by the ITIL user, meaning it will not be available for the end user. And so here you can write the script that the state value is -3, which is for authorize. And once it goes to the authorized state, then it should add the approval. So it's very simple and very user friendly. You don't really have to do a lot of customizations. Now, if you move back, now let's look at more UI actions. Maybe I can look upon this one, request approval, which is for assess state. So here in the assess state, it's moving to the state as assess. Same thing you can mention over there as well. So all these things are already available out of box. You, based on client requirement, you just have to do cosmetic changes and then cancel changes. All these UI actions are available. So now let's go back to the change form and go back to the normal change, right? So here you see different states are available, different UI action appears when it transitions through different states. And then for configuration, you just have to go to the configure option, and then you can either configure the form where you can add or remove more fields, or you can configure the table. It will show you the table structure. So for an example, in this table, how many columns exist, what are different controls that are there, and what is the access control. For an example, change request, create, who should be able to create the change request, who should be able to read it, and etc. So you define that role based access over here. So this is how you can see the table structure for change management. And then you have UI policies, which runs on the UI front. Data policies run on the data side, on the server side. UI actions I just showed on click on of an UI action, what action should be done. Client scripts I showed you before. It is for the UI related stuff wherein you want to do certain data manipulations. For an example, let's open a client script and see what it does. So hide on hold button on hold field on certain states. So this script is written to hide the on hold field for certain states. So on change meaning whenever something is changed on the change form. And what it does is when the state is new, closed, or cancelled, you have to hide on hold. So for that, you just have to set it as false. It's as easy as that. And if you want to verify it, you can do that as well, how it works. So it says new state, it should be hidden. You can't see the on hold checkbox over here. But let's move it to the different state and see if you are able to see it or not. I'll move it to the assess state, and for that you have to fill in the assignment group. and click on save. We saw this UI action as well for moving it to the assess state, which is available out of box. Now it is in assess state and you can see on hold. So that's what the client script was written for. So we saw incident, we saw change. Now I will skip ITSM for a moment and I'll show you CMDB. So for that you have to go to, let's just type CMDB. And CMDB is a configuration management database wherein you can see different CIs for different infrastructure devices. And it's just a table where you have different classes that are available and different classes have different fields and different records. So I can show some of the fields and records. You can you can interrupt me just in case you have any questions. So cmdb underscore ci dot list. That's how I can go to the table records directly. So you see, this is the list of all records that exist under the CMDB table. And you see the class, right? So if I group it by class, I can see all the classes that exist under CMDB. So let me just click on group by class. And different classes have different structure. And if we want to see the table schema, we can do that as well. Just give me 1 second. So configuration. Yeah, so there are different services that are available, application services, servers, and etc. So all these are tables, and inside the tables, there are different records that exist. And so if I have to see this table schema, just click on schema. Let me see where is tables and columns. Table and column. Yeah. So here you can see the CMDB related structures. So for an example, .NET application. If you want to see its table and field structure, you can just click on it and you can see different columns and their attributes that are available. So attributes are nothing but what type of field it is, what is the default value, what kind of data validation you want to take place. So that's how you can see the CMDB table structure. And builder is just for reporting CMDB query builder, wherein you can use it for a particular reporting related requirement. NCI class manager is where you can do certain configuration related changes for CMDB. So you open the hierarchy and then you can see different types of CIs and their classes that are available. So it's open database. Here you can see different attributes and that are available for this database, and you can see identification rules. So these rules are defined so that duplicate CI records cannot be created, and what kind of relationship you want to create for this database you can define over here. And reconciliation is to make sure that the CI records are accurate and up to date. So that's how you can maintain CMDB related information. So we are a little bit out of time. So now I'll go back to the presentation. And yeah, so development guidelines, I gave you a brief understanding about the data model, how you can see that. And then ServiceNow Studio application, any application, new application that you want to create, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is you can go to the application studio. Give me one moment. Let me go to the home page. Yeah, so here it's very easy. You can create any application by just clicking on the UI action. It's drag and drop. It's pretty easy to develop any custom application that you want to do. So for creating the custom application, first of all, you have to define a name and then table and then customize the details. So let's say it's test snow, application name is test snow. It is scoped, meaning it does not interfere with the global data. It has its own domain separation. And for roles, I can use existing role for now. Let's just give it an admin role. And it should be using classic, not on mobile. And table, if you want to extend it from existing table, for an example, task is the base table from where you want to extend it. You can just select task. What it will do is it will list down all the fields that exist on the task table. Now let's click on start and click on create. Right, so now it is ready and click on done. Now this application is created. Let's load it. And by default, it is already created out of box modules. For example, all, closed, create new, etc. It's already there. And if we want to create different controls, for an example, you want to publish the application or you want to have different source controls added to it, you can do that as well. So it's pretty easy to develop anything with inside the as a custom application in Snow. For an example, you click on create new. This is the default create new module looks like. But if you want to define it in a different way, for an example, you don't want it to appear like this, you can always customize it by going to the configure form. So that's how you can work on the application studio. Now going back to the form. So development guidelines, first of all, you have to collect the business requirements, create the data model, and then build the application using Studio, test the application, and share the application. So ServiceNow, you can create update sets and you can capture your details in the update set, which is here. For an example, you have different update sets that are available. You can select from here, and for creating a new update set as well, it's quite easy. So you go to the update set and click on local update set, create a new update set, and then submit and make current. It will show over here, and that's how you can start capturing your application related details in the update set. And for moving the development into different environments, you can just use the update sets. And yeah, so that's pretty much it about the development guidelines. Next is implementation overview. So foundation data is important. You have to import different user related details. For an example, department, location, companies, users, groups, and all these you can either integrate with different systems such as Workday or LDAP, or you can also import it using Excel file. So this is the data structure. User is the base table and company, department, location, groups are extended from user table. And role is associated with the user table and group has role associated with it. Implementation overview, CMDB we saw for a little bit. So ServiceNow we mainly focused around ITSM and CMDB. So CMDB is the core wherein it is connected with all ITSM applications, and the way it is connected is there is a field called as CI, and that gets associated with all the records. So why ServiceNow? Because it's easy to configure. Most of the development you can get done using low code or no code, out of box features, and upgrades are pretty easy. You can get the upgrades done by in just 30 minutes. Faster implementation because all the best practices are already there out of box. And customization is very easy. You can customize any application or create new application as per your requirement using Application Studio. And there are pre-built templates and sources that are available for you to use. And there are many workflows and integration spokes that are available by default that you can use. So that's pretty much it. I will stop sharing, and if you have any questions, you can let me know. If there are no questions, then I think we can stop the meeting. Thanks everyone. I hope you had a good learning session and you enjoyed it. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Yeah, Swati, thank you so much. Same.